So ladies, let's talk about some dating. On your dating profiles, dating pictures, everything. What are you putting on there? Are you putting on what you actually want or what you think they want to see? Are you putting on there pictures that make you feel good or what you think will attract the guys? Because I will tell you, I am friends with all the guys that I've dated. So I see women's dating profiles. They will show me the shit show that they have to look at. Stop putting half naked pictures on there. Stop using filters all over because you're ashamed of your face. Stop saying in your profile exactly what you think they want to hear instead of what you actually want. What do you want? Do you know? Because if we're all energy, we have to have the map to be able to attract what we want, right? I call it a unicorn list. It's kind of like a goals, dream board, whatever, but it's what I know I want and deserve in the person, which makes it really easy to like screen out unpotential people. Screen out the thrift store, right? So, have you ever actually wrote down what you want? Have you actually thought about what you want? Are they able to have a conversation, a deep conversation? How do they react if it's a heated conversation? Excuse me. How do they show up with their family? How do they deal with their past? How do they talk about their shame? How do they emotionally connect? How do they show up for you? Have you ever wrote that down and created a map? Do you have an expectation for that? Because if you don't, you can't really find it and you don't know when you did. If you know what you're looking for, it's a lot easier to know when you found it or when it's not close. I dare you to actually take all of your lessons from dating and write out at least what you don't want. At least what you don't want kind of helps you get to where you want. Do you want them to be able to, because I believe in all day foreplay, that is a mandatory requirement for me. If they aren't able, because I'm sorry, like doing dishes and normal stupid shit is hot to me. So if they're able to see I am having a hard day and they are able to alleviate any of that and they consciously did something that could, that is sexy as hell to me. If they are able to not take it personal, if I shut down and go inward and I'm able to say it is really not you, that I need some like me time, that is sexy as hell to me. If they are able to communicate their emotions, they're able to make me laugh in something that is a heavy, deep moment, that is amazing to me. If they are able to do the simple small things that show they care, that is amazing to me. If they know their goals and dreams, that is sexy as hell to me. What is sexy as hell to you? I'm not talking about 6 foot this and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's a part. Believe me, I have that on my unicorn list. I have 187 items actually. 187 from lessons learned and everything, because otherwise, guess what? We forget. We forget so easily about what we hated in the last. To have it show back up again because we didn't learn the freaking lesson. Because the only way to learn the lesson is to see it in all areas of our life, claim a boundary for it, know what it looks like, be able to speak up if we see it again. You can't do that if you don't actually take the time to think about it, document it, be present in it. So what's your unicorn list? You know, that rare, sexy creature that's not supposed to exist? Kind of takes it away when that rare creature shows up. Can't deny it. And then you're kind of manifesting in and attracting in what you believe you deserve. What you are also able to see on the opposite end of your unicorn list, what do you need to heal and do for yourself to be the mirror of that? Because you have to fill that gap and learn those lessons to meet that energetically at the same level. That means if you want this unicorn that's not supposed to exist, there is some stuff that you've got to learn in between. If you want him completely open and honest and emotional and able to talk and communicate, are you able to do that? Are you able to be vulnerable and completely open and honest and talk about what you want, need, and everything else? If not, you have to learn that to get that. So stop assuming you're going to get it without any work on our ends. There's no blame in this world. Nobody is able to hurt you if they're not allowed in your space because you know your boundaries and you know your worth. We allow people to stay in our space too long. That's how it hurts us. We have attachments to them showing up. That's our lesson, not theirs. Stop blaming other people. Stop being scared that the next one's going to hurt you. Believe in yourself that you're doing the work to know better, to do better. Believe in yourself that you learned that lesson to see where it was in every other place in your life and you cut it out and learned and put rules in place for yourself to see it again. We're only scared of getting hurt because we don't trust ourselves. When we learn to trust ourselves, there is no blame. When we learn to stand up for ourselves, there is no blame. We leave when they show us who they are. We see that they didn't earn us. They didn't earn the right to be in our space. And if you claim a boundary and they do it again, they are purposely not respecting you, your journey, your story, and you leave. There is no reason to be scared of love. And I remind myself that all the time. There is no reason to be scared of healthy love because that's what we usually run from and create that huge, scary, they could hurt us and this and that, and this is how it showed up last time and blah, blah, blah. A lot of our lessons will show up in different packages the next time, but if we treat it differently, it shows up differently. It's only because we allowed it to stay and allowed it to be there that it became a lesson in the first place. So forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for not knowing better to do better then. Forgive yourself for staying too long. Forgive yourself for loving someone who didn't earn your love. Forgive yourself for not having a friendship foundation first. When we know better, we do better. So there is no shame, no punishment, no judgment, and no blame game where we point fingers at everyone else that hurt us, because that is only avoiding looking at the true reason how we got hurt in the first place, which means you never heal it. So, create your unicorn list. What does your sexy hot man look like? How does he show up for you? What do you have expectations and everything attached to? What do you know you don't want in that magical creature? And where do you see you need to level up to match it? And I dare you to start trying. Because when you're working on you and not looking is when it magically shows up. But believe that you're worth that unicorn. And just keep doing you. and dating and learning along the way until it does. I have no attachment to someone not showing up for themselves. If they don't show up, they are out of my boundary box, and I will love them from a distance. And when they decide to respect my boundaries, they're able to come back in, but they might have lost their place in line because I know what I'm worth. And if they didn't believe that they deserved it, I'm not waiting around until they do. I will be a friend who will send them, I hope you're smiling or whatever, because that's not attached to my worth. That is attached to my intuition and my gift being like a life-saving device sometimes when people are lost too much in their head. And I had to learn that the hard way. So don't attach your unconditional love that you want to give to people, expecting them to show up differently. Don't do it out of expectations, expecting something in return. Unconditional love means there's no conditions. So, if you want them to know that, that means you have to know that. You have to have your worth not attached to anyone else and how you show up. Love you, ladies.